So Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2 Episode 14 was an amazing episode. I loved this episode. I really enjoyed this episode because this episode had a lot to love about it. So the whole premise of this episode is the Rangers going to Rafkon to stop Lord Zedd because Lord Zedd wants to revive the Sporix and use the Sporix generator for his own nefarious plans. And don't forget, way back in Season 1, the whole reason why Aiyon was awoken was to stop Lord Zedd. So Aiyon does get a bit of an ego in this episode, but he also has some character growth where he learns from his mistakes because he was so reckless in this episode. It got Zato kind of killed, but critically injured. So Zato's in a bad state at the end of this episode. But this episode was crazy fun. The fight scenes were amazing where they fought off all of Lord Zedd's minions, the Scissor Guy, Boom Blaster, Skizor, and Null Eye, which Null Eye doesn't really get an explanation why he's there. He's just there, Scrozzle built him, so he's around, so it is what it is. I kind of wish we got an explanation why he was built, but Lord Zedd did bring Scrozzle along to build robots, and I gotta say, I like Lord Zedd's new posse with Scrozzle and the gang. I think it's a really fun dynamic between all these characters, although most of these villains are fodder for the Rangers to kill off near the end of the show. And the Scissor Guy gets it the worst because Zato reflects his attack and he gets himself blown up. But the fight scenes where the Rangers use all the dino keys in this episode was freaking amazing. But with Rafkon, they filmed it in a lovely New Zealand forest. And there's this one scene in the episode where they stand on the hills of New Zealand, and it's just a lovely shot where you see nothing but green and blue skies around it. It's like a really beautiful shot, and I can't wait to watch the episodes on Netflix officially, support the official release everyone, so I can see it in beautiful 4K presentation, because that scene looked really well. I loved it. So I can't wait to watch these episodes again when they drop on Netflix. I'm going to binge them for sure, no doubt about it. But the stakes were really high in this episode where Aiyon thought he could beat Lord Zedd, and I honestly thought the episode would end with Aiyon sort of fighting back Lord Zedd, but no, Aiyon was reckless and he wasn't able to defeat Lord Zedd, and Lord Zedd kind of sort of won because he was able to get to the Sporix generator and activate it, and that sets up a lot of things moving forward in the episode now that Lord Zedd can use the Sporix machine to do whatever he's got planned with that, which is build his own Sporix army, which would make Lord Zedd a very, very big threat with all those Sporix. But one thing I gotta talk about with this episode is the B-plot, which it's a very short B-plot to be honest, and it didn't take up too much of the episode. And that is back at Buzz Blast, you have Jane and Jay Borg and the Buzz Blast crew having a Nerf gun war, which was kind of silly and a lot of fun, which it's for the target audience that is kids, and I do wonder if Hasbro did chip in for the Nerf war to promote it, do some sneaky self-promotion right there. But the whole Nerf gun war that they had in the Buzz Blast office reminded me of the Community episodes where they had the paint gun wars. They're the vibes I got with the whole Nerf gun battles they had in Buzz Blast. Although, if you haven't seen those episodes of Community, check them out, they're a lot of fun. But they kind of did their own version of it with this and Power Rangers Dino Fury, but with Nerf guns, and their own crazy, wacky side characters in Power Rangers. And I gotta say, it was a lot of fun. I love the chemistry that Jay Borg and Jane have, and I feel like they bounce off each other a lot really well, which is something I've praised throughout my Dino Fury reveals. But not only that, I feel like it was a nice little side plot to have all these extras and side characters we see working at Buzz Blast sort of doing their own thing, and I'm sure they probably had a lot of fun filming this stuff on that Buzz Blast set that they've got in New Zealand for Dino Fury. So I feel like seeing that stuff in this episode was a lot of fun. Now, apart from the luscious sights of New Zealand in this episode did have a pretty big cliffhanger at the end of the episode, and that was with the Rangers trying to figure out who teleported them out of Rafkon, because they were saved at the last minute before Lord Zedd would have destroyed them. And they thought that Solon saved her, but Solon's like, I didn't save you. And as they figure out who saved them, you see a portal open up, and you see the green Morphin Master coming out of the portal, which is pretty freaking crazy. And the Green Morphin Master says they have a lot to tell the Rangers with everything going on. But one thing I want to talk about in this episode, where Ollie's sort of dismissing Aiyon's prophecy, and Ollie says prophecies can be wrong, and they do so sort of do a callback to that fortune teller lady from season 1 episode 2, and Amelia makes the joke that she was right all along. But Aiyon says, when has a Morphin Master been wrong? And I kind of snickered at that line because I was like, Draken, which I don't know where that takes place in the timeline, but Draken was wrong. They thought that Draken could have been handled by the Rangers, but they were wrong about that and got most of them killed off. But that's a story for another day if you've read Shattered Grid. But yeah, this episode did have a crazy cliffhanger of the Green Morphin Master showing up, and I gotta say, I love that suit. It was sort of like a CGI reveal, which was edited pretty well, where the Green Morphin Master came out all CGI from the portal, but then she steps out of the portal, the step down, and you see how beautiful and big that suit looks from the angle they film it on. And I gotta say, it's a cool looking suit, and I hope we see it in motion and moving around in the Rangers base, apart from like floating around and stuff like that, because the Morphin Master suits are pretty freaking cool, and I do like the design of them, so I can't wait to see where this episode is going to go next. So what did you guys think of Dino Fury Season 2 Episode 14, Rafkon Revealed? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye.